Glen Powell is the hottest actor in Hollywood right now. Literally anything that man does, any picture of him, it goes viral. Which is why you are going to want to watch his new show, Chad Powers. He produced it, he wrote it. I mean, this man is just a creative force. And in the show, he plays a kind of canceled football player who then has to conceal his identity in order to play football. So he puts on these prosthetics, and it's kind of like Mrs. Doubtfire, but with football. And it's a fun show. And guess what? I spoke with the entire cast, including Glen Powell. And yes, I did talk to Glen Powell about Mrs. Doubtfire. And yes, I got Glen Powell to do the Mrs. Doubtfire hello. And in fact, while I was watching Chad Powers, there were moments that I just kept repeating Sally Field saying, the whole time, the whole time. The show's a lot of fun. The cast is a lot of fun. My chats with the entire cast is a lot of fun. This show is just one of those shows that it's both emotional, it's funny. Glen Powell, I didn't know that he had this level of comedy in him. When he puts on that prosthetic and does the voice and has the wig, it's borderline creepy in a really funny way. I mean, I had to ask the entire cast how they kept a straight face with him in that prosthetics with that voice. And there are scenes where he's like in the locker room and he can't get wet because he has the prosthetics. So he makes up reasons why he can't shower with the team. I mean, there are just so many moments, but there's also emotional moments too. Somehow, and this is the strength of Glen Powell as an actor, he was able to, of course, the absurdity of his mask in scenes where he has to be very emotional. And you kind of get into this moment where you don't see the difference. You just see him in the prosthetic as a different person. It's a great performance. And I really think you're gonna enjoy my chats with the cast of Chad Powers today. And make sure you check out Chad Powers on Hulu, because it's a fantastic show and you should very much be watching it. It's nice to meet both of you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, the show, I binged it in one sitting.
Oh, great.
My boyfriend was walking around the apartment doing the voice.
Oh,
It
really?
was a little
weird.
terrifying, a little weird, a little weird. I have to say, going into, well, first off, this junket, I was expecting Smash Sauce.
I know, I really
I was so
dropped the ball.
surprised it wasn't in there.
I dropped the ball. You know what's gonna happen tomorrow? Smash is gonna be at the premiere tomorrow.
Oh.
It'll be at the premiere tomorrow. I'm not gonna do this again. We eat
gotta go to the
barbecue,
premiere.
and we're not eating Smash Sauce. It's such a letdown. It's the best sauce in the biz.
Well,
I'll send you some.
Please.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get it actually, because I'm
All
gonna
right,
taste it.
Good, absolutely.
I have to say, with the show though, I went into the show just by looking at me. You know, I'm not into football. I was like thinking, I'm not like, this is not going to be my show. 10 minutes in, I see Mrs. Doubtfire, and I'm immediately hooked. Like, I don't know where this show's going, but the tone is there. Like, it is. So what about, I guess, the drag of it all? Because it really is, the character does sort of figure out a way to disguise himself and do the thing he needs to do. So what was it that sort of gave you the story?
Well, I mean, for me personally, Mrs. Doubtfire was one of the most rewatchable movies of my childhood. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, Robin Williams was one of the greatest actors.
I'm surprised
out
you
there.
didn't work the whole time into the script. Like,
What?
I was waiting for one character to scream like Sally Field did in Mrs. Doubtfire the whole time. Yeah, that's all I wanted.
I'm
That's
sure
all I
we'll get
wanted.
it in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But you know the thing about it, that's one of my favorite movie quotes ever. One of my favorite shirts that I wear around the house, where it's the one where he comes out of the cake. I just have Robin Williams with the Mrs. Doubtfire where he's
Right, yeah.
It's my first day as a woman. I'm already having hot flashes. I mean, I could do it all day.
It's such a good.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really loved about that movie, Tootsie, movies like that, is that you sort of have the protagonist, the person under the mask, learning from the mask, in a great way. There was an aspect of, we were talking about sort of who the entry point, the sort of log line for this character was, a guy who's sort of the worst teammate in the world, learning to be a good teammate by putting on a mask.
Yeah.
By putting on the mask of a good teammate, he actually can become one. Mm-hmm. And I thought there was something really magical about Mrs. Doubtfire. That character is a father learning from a great, nanny.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the same sauce, but it also contains comedy and drama and romance and just this wonderful lie at the center of it all that you wonder if this guy can pull it off. And it's just, I think we have the same sauce in this one. It's, this is really
It definitely is there.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, well, and even the voice, like we were talking about before, I have to ask you, Steve, did it ever terrify you? Like because I mean, I'm watching you do this voice with this face, and I'm thinking, like, what was it like in person to receive it, but also not make fun of it. You know what I mean? Like there's a comedy level to it that is so
totally.
absurd, but yet so normal at the same time.
Right, and I've got to play it as straight as possible. Mm-hmm. Like, who are you? You're the strangest bird I have ever run into.
The locker room scene was just weird.
Yeah, no, it's so fun. Yeah, I'm just completely puzzled.
Yeah.
For episode after episode, which is to me funny, playing the straight dude. It's just, but yeah, it's such a. What I love about this show is there's this crazy, insane, absurd comedy, and yet we play it in a tonally in a way in a totally believable way.
Yeah.
No one questions it. And it just becomes about your personality.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to me.
Yeah.
The audience is ahead of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, if I want to play to the audience, I'm just puzzled.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, there's also the element of, and I think Michael's saying this, that it was all serious actors in a comedy. Like, for the most part, I mean, maybe you're the only one that we've seen do comedy like this in
Like
your
crazy.
career.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas, like, everyone else, it's dramatic. There's dramatic performances behind them, and to see them in this, I think it heightens the comedy in a lot of
I
ways.
totally agree with you, and I think that's really important. You can't go out just making a comedy. Well, you can, but it's just this is layered stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be moved
Yeah.
when I watched it.
Especially while he's wearing the mask.
Yeah,
like,
that
while
was-
you're
that
wearing
was-
the stuff, I'm like, why am I
like,
tearing up when you're
yeah.
looking ridiculous like this?
Yeah,
Like,
it's really- it's
yeah, there's
remarkable.
something to it. Well, also, and I talked to Frankie about this, I firmly believe that every straight man needs a gay best friend. I am that gay best friend for a lot of straight men, and well, that sounds inappropriate, but I feel like they need that, and in this show, I feel like shows that in a really special way. So, like, what is it? Because that character is the only one who is in on the secret, who knows everything. So what is it about that relationship?
Well, we always sort of, we always wanted this. I mean, honestly, that was the first scene that I wrote, was the two of them meeting, that on campus, Frankie and the mascot
When he
costume.
maces you, right?
Yeah, where he maces me. That was the
Yeah.
first scene written in the whole show.
That's awesome.
And the funny part is from that moment, always the conceit was that he was sort of the Henry Higgins of the story. He was sort of Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And that these two kind of needed each other because their skill sets are different and their interpersonal needs are different. They come from different worlds, and yet this lie is kind of what brings them together in a really fun way. But the best part is I also think it just it really shows. Like, I always like when two characters unexpectedly find each other, but you see the goodness in each of them,
Yeah.
the way they orient around each other, really is indicative of their humanity. And I don't know, I just love both of them. I also love the Mulan song.
Oh,
that was
the fact that went on for like a minute and a
It's
half.
so great.
Was
Isn't that
so great.
How long? Yeah.
It went on for
It's
so long, and I
beautiful.
just kept laughing, knowing
So
that
good.
something is coming from this.
It was it's kind of like Mulan. This story is Mulan.
It kind of is too.
It
Was that on
It's Phantom of
purpose?
the
I think that was
Opera,
on
it's Mulan.
purpose.
Yeah, it's good. No, there's intention behind every choice in this show.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. Is people that really are paying attention.
That's really
there's
smart.
nothing accidental.
Yeah.
Really smart.
Well, one of the things that I was saying this earlier, that I liken myself to be funny because for lack of good looks. It's a kind of offensive that you have both now, that you're proving yourself to be funny and the leading man type.
Thanks.
And so one of the things that I was in watching it, I wanted to know from you, because I've been a longtime fan of yours, is do you know the brilliance of Steve Zahn in Joyride? Do you appreciate?
I haven't seen Joyride in a long time. I did watch it when I was younger. I watched it in high school.
It is an essential
It's a very good
movie.
movie.
It's a good movie.
And seeing
John
you
Dahl.
incredible, Paul Walker. I mean, it's just an incredible movie. It's so, I mean, we watch it all the time, but I say that because for you in this moment in your career, I loved you in this show. I loved you in The White Lotus. And what I think is so great is we're seeing you act in ways that we haven't seen you act in a long time. And I love that you wrote this character for someone I mean, it's just great to see. So what does it feel for you to be at this moment in your career in a show like this?
I'm truly in a moment right now in my career, in my life, where I am just just busy and so happy. I'm just thrilled not only to be working and still relevant, but to be doing really quality stuff and really good characters and doing work that matters. That's huge. And I think the show matters.
Yeah.
And it definitely is needed right now.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
And I really hope it inspires people to come up and do the voice to you like my boyfriend did to me.
Okay.
I hope it.
It's gonna
I
be.
hope it-
It's gonna be a weird time
You're
for
gonna
all
have
of us.
you're gonna have a
The whole
weird
world
month
doing
or
this
so.
voice. It's gonna really be a freaky next year.
I mean, I think you're doing fine. You can take it. Nice chatting with you both. Thanks
Yeah,
for taking the
such a
time.
pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
This show, I binged it in one sitting, and when I went into it, I mean, just by looking at me, you know, I'm not a sports person, and so I didn't think I was going to like it.
Shouldn't assume that we
I mean,
don't
you can
know that
assume-
you have a fantasy league.
You can assume that.
No.
It's fair. It's fair. But as soon as I saw Mrs. Doubtfire in the first 10 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
in. Let's go. So, like, what, like, sealed the deal for you in this script, getting excited about this show?
I thought it was one of the funniest things I'd ever read. It made me laugh out loud. But we both have a personal connection to football, and the fact that like my life as an actor and football is a big part of my life, but those worlds have never merged before. So the idea that those might merge and that might get to be my work was like
Yeah,
a dream job for me.
for sure. And I had seen, you know, the skit that Eli had done on Eli's Places with him being Chad Powers. So I already was familiar with it, and obviously familiar with the world, having been a part of it myself. But yeah, I love sports movies. I love sports TV. It's something that I go to when I need to kind of feel or get myself out of a rut.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I could be part of something like that was really cool. And obviously the people involved were so great, you know,
Yeah.
all the things they've done. So it was like, I mean, honestly, it was like, choose me, please, you know? And yeah, it was a really great experience.
I'm the opposite. I'm in a rut. I turn to the Golden Girls. To football. I mean,
Well, now you're going to turn to football.
maybe,
hope.
probably not.
Probably,
But
that's okay.
what are your football backgrounds? I'm really interested in that.
I was a cheerleader in high school and then a cheerleader in college too.
Wow.
And then I ended up marrying a former player and analyst, so we are only allowed to watch football at home,
Yeah, all the
unfortunately.
time.
But
Yeah, and I played football in college, so I played for the University of North Carolina. So, yeah, and then football all up through that, and then just a huge fan now. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Well, Glenn, I mean, Glenn in this show is kind of a surprise. I wouldn't have expected that level of comedy.
he's amazing.
from
No,
him.
he's a comedian.
Yeah.
He's
it
a
seems
comedian.
it.
He is one of the funniest people I've ever met. Like, he's amazing.
Well, and so how did you? The voice is both terrifying and funny, and the face is also terrifying and funny, which is crazy that they would take someone who looks like Glen Powell and make him look terrifying and
Yeah.
funny in that kind of way. So, like, how was it acting in front of that face?
It was hard for me to keep a straight face.
Yeah.
I broke character many times, but I think he does such an incredible job at making. He's Chad so much, right? Like, he's Russ, but not really. Like, he's Chad most of the time, and the fact that he created a character that is so likable, that can look so, you know, it's such an extreme idea, and yet you can't get enough of Chad. Like, you kind of love him, and you want to know more, and you want the camera to go to Chad. You want him to say something funny, because Glenn did such an incredible job at making him so likable.
Yeah, it got to the point where, because like I never actually saw him as Russ. You know, I only saw him as Chad the whole time.
Yeah.
And so like it would get to the point where we were hanging out on the weekends, and I'd see Glenn. I'm like, oh, that's right, you're really good looking.
Oh, that's right, you're
You know
so
what I mean?
handsome.
Like it would catch me off guard
I
to
don't
see
think
his
anyone
actual.
forgets that about me.
Yeah, I know.
have.
But like for me,
Yeah.
it would be weird to see his actual face. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I think for Bird, I always had kind of like that, a little bit of suspicion towards him. So I could just lean into that. So when he's being Chad, saying all these weird things, it really kind of fueled the stuff I was already working with. And he just, I mean, he's a very giving actor, and that was, you know, continued through that. And it was really.
And a great leader.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, as the writing force behind this too, like
For
that's
sure.
he kind of is putting everyone to shame.
Yeah, he's doing a lot
Taking
right now.
all the jobs.
Exactly.
I
Taking all the
also-
jobs.
All the jobs. Also, too, I mean, I've always likened myself as a funny person, and I think, I relied on that for lack of looks. And so with Glenn taking...
Taking both.
Taking
Come
both.
on, bro. Relax.
What
I
else?
think, yeah, so like on set, did you ever mimic the voice? The voice is so mimicable. I found myself, my boyfriend, walking around the apartment, letting me watch the show. He was doing the voice. I can't do the voice. So I wanted to know if y'all did the voice and made fun of Glenn on set with that voice.
My character has to in
That's right,
the
yeah.
last episode. She has this like, I don't know what I can give away, but I won't. But
Yeah.
she has this, ends up imitating him.
Yeah.
Nobody does it better than him. But
Yeah.
you can't even identify what the accent is. What is that?
What is that?
I don't
accent?
know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knows.
It's like an Australian Southern person who got
Yes.
lost along the way.
Exactly. Lost somewhere in the backwoods of
Yeah.
America. Yeah, I never did it on set just because I just want to be very careful about, especially in the process of doing something. Like sometimes, even if you say good things, bad things, or whatever, you just bring somebody's mind to it. So I didn't ever that, but we've been asked to today, and so that's been fun trying to go after the voice today.
I mean, I won't ask you to do it because it would terrify me, but still, I appreciate it. And it was so nice talking to both of you.
Oh, so
Thank
nice
you for
talking to you
coming
too.
on.
you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, it's H. Allen with Newsweek. So nice to meet both of you. Oh, yeah, Newsweek.
I love
know.
it.
Oh, you know, we don't usually get that kind of reaction, so I kind of love it. I guess we're the new Britney Spears or something. I don't know. The show's fantastic. I have to know, first off, were you ever creeped out by the voice/face of Glen Powell, which is a rare thing for Glen Powell to receive?
Totally.
Yeah.
For the first time I saw him, I was a little taken back when I first saw the real Chad, and I was like, oh my. And then when the voice came out, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this scene without giggling. Yes, it was amazing. But then once we worked with him long enough and over time, there's just something very endearing about Chad,
Yeah.
and he's kind of just the sweetest soul. So you sort of fall in love with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I loved when he was in his Chad. In his
Yeah.
Chad
What about
face.
you?
It was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
still getting over it.
I'm still working through some stuff, some nightmares, but it's just funny because like obviously Glenn is like one of the most beautiful people on the planet,
I mean,
and then
yeah.
when like he's Chad, it really is a completely different person. So it's like, how did they do that? I just want.
How did they make him ugly? He's not
Yeah.
ugly, but let's be real. Like he's not someone. He's not someone you're
Not
gonna take home at the
cute, yeah.
bar. Even last call. Like it's a little. Even if he's your Uber driver, it's the frightening Uber driver. You know what I mean? But yet he
totally.
kind of looks like someone who would be an Uber driver. So I don't know. Like it kind of confuses me. Frankie, I have to ask you. So like one of the things that I love about this show is I've always said that every straight man needs a gay best friend.
Amen.
Oh,
They
amen.
need a gay
Oh,
bestie in every capacity.
Well, but
Yep.
everyone.
Everyone,
I
sure,
tell my
but
girls that.
particularly straight men. Like,
Well, it's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
I feel
but
like-
everyone needs
yes,
everyone.
So, like, what is it about the friendship between the two of you in the show that you think, I don't know, that adds a new element to the show? It's totally different, and that's one of the reasons why I stayed hooked on the show.
Oh, love
thank
that.
you. I think for me, it was like in some weird way, Russ does kind of remind me of my older brother, who's
Yeah.
just like so balls to the wall and is going to be the one to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, and act off impulse. So I think like going into that, I had kind of like that opposite energy of like, slow down, everything's going to be okay. And I think that's what worked for that like working relationship.
And also the Mulan.
The Mulan.
The Mulan moment.
I
Who
mean,
knew this show was a musical?
It is
Who
literally
knew?
my favorite moment of the entire series.
And the fact that they let it go on for like
Oh,
at
the
least
full-
a minute
it was
and
like
a
the
half.
full- it was
It
like
was
the
the
full
full
song. half the song,
I kept
yeah.
thinking, it's Disney, so I guess they got the money. They can do it. But like
Totally.
still, like
I wish it would have kept going.
yeah.
Maybe next season.
Oh,
I mean,
so.
well, so then Trisha, like that character is so. It's campy. She's campy, but yet at the same time, everyone knows that woman.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's
Yes.
there's a layers, there's duality there. So like,
Yes.
how did you find the balance without it making her too ridiculous?
Well, I was raised in Atlanta. I was
Okay.
raised in Georgia. So I have the South, just in my veins, and I knew Trisha heart and soul when I read her on the page, because she is part my mother, part my neighbor, part the mentors that I've had in my life in the South. I mean, there are some tough ladies down there, and in the best ways. And so I used all that for Trisha, and just it was also on the page.
Yeah.
I mean, Glenn and Michael wrote this character that was just so delicious and rich, and it was just so much fun.
How did those two dudes know a woman like that?
I
That's what I loved about the writing,
know.
is that how did they create someone like that? Who do they know?
Who
Yeah.
do they know?
And what are they hiding?
Totally.
Well,
and who else do they know?
Yes.
That we haven't seen yet. That's coming.
Second season. Well, that gets to my last question is, your character is really the one that knows the truth, knows the secret more than anyone else. And so are both of you good at keeping secret? Would you be able to keep this kind of secret?
I could take it to the grave.
Could you?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, there's some secrets. If someone tells me something and they're like, truly, you're the only person I'm telling, you can never tell anyone, I will take that to the grave, too.
Yeah.
But if Trisha found out about this, oh no, she would take it to the grave as long
You
as
think
they
so?
as long as they're winning.
Oh yeah.
I do not care as
Oh,
Trisha
true.
who is holding that ball, as long as this team is winning, and I will protect Chad and do anything I can to just keep my quarterback.
I would tell everybody. I would tell everybody. I mean, I can't help myself.
I'm never telling you any of my secrets.
Please don't. Please don't. I'm telling you right now. I mean, I'm a
You're going
journalist. Don't
blogging.
tell me any secrets.
I know.
Girl. Yes.
I was going to.
Yes. Well, it's lovely chatting with both of you. You're fantastic, and the show's great.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
definitely. So nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you.
Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
nice
You're
to meet
wonderful.
you.
So I just take one look at me. You know, I'm not a football person. I'm not a
Come
sports
on.
person. I mean,
No
come
way.
on. The nails probably give it away. But within 10 minutes of watching the show, I saw Mrs. Doubtfire, and I was like, I'm hooked. I'm immediately hooked. So, like, what was it about this story and expanding upon the existing entity that excited you?
Maybe it was exactly that. The feeling that this was a story that could be about football, college football, which I love and
Yeah.
Glenn loves in an authentic way, but also be about so much more than that, like all the best sports stories are, and that in a guy having to put on a mask to be somebody new, to play this sport that he loves, it could actually be about something kind of, universal, so that hopefully folks that don't, that could care less about football, they could grab hold of it too.
Yeah, there's a lot of things for people to grab onto, because even though there's a lot of comedy, a lot of absurd comedy, a lot of really funny moments I don't think people have seen Glenn this way before. Do you?
It's funny. I first saw Glenn in Everybody Wants Some, and I was like, that's the guy. He's
Yeah.
gonna be the guy. And I thought he was so funny in that, and I certainly thought he was so funny and Set It Up and all this, but it was amazing. So I believed in him as a comedic actor. I knew he could do that, and this was just him proving that if you take off the governor, he can let it rip.
Yeah, and the range too. I mean, going
brilliant.
from even the range in one scene where he's still doing the voice, but it's like a dramatic scene. There's so much there. How did you balance the comedy with the real human emotion? Because that's a fine balance.
That was the trick of the show, and that's all of that credit goes to we had an amazing writing staff who understood the tonal thing we were trying to do, which was we have an absurd premise, ground the rest of the show in reality, and then we had brilliant actors. And in a lot of cases, we opted for dramatic actors and trusted them to do comedy. I wanted to know they could do the dramatic stuff, and then let's trust them to be hilarious. Of course they all are. And yeah, those were the plates we were always spinning. It's weird. And in one moment, in one scene, you have Glenn's character having sort of the defining catharsis of his life, taking accountability for his actions in this absurd voice, and across him you have Toby Huss in a fat suit, dressed like a Mexican general, and somehow that absurdity was like, we were like, that's the bullseye. Let's see if we can hit it.
That episode in particular, I mean, what I love about the show is that oftentimes, especially a first season of something, you can get a lot of things answered at once, and you have to fit in a lot to the first season. This, I was left wanting more at the end. You know, I was left, I wanted to know what happened to this character next and how, whatever happened. But particularly, how did you come up with the level of the face and the voice that you were going to have in the show? Because you want to make it funny, but at the same time, it has to be someone that people would believe is a person, you know?
It was a lot of, like, very fun, almost like video game style mixing and matching. Had a special effects out of this guy Vincent Van Dyke that helped design it, and it was like, all right, this nose with this brow, and maybe should we have the mustache, not have the mustache? Well, if you have the black hair, don't take the mustache. And it was ultimately, we were always kind of driving toward something that kind of evoked Eli's original look, but on Glenn. And we found something that was like, it was just off-putting enough, but maybe adorable.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing Glenn found with the voice. You know, Glenn went away and he created this voice that it makes Chad a real person. And I think by the end, it doesn't feel like a punchline when he's speaking. Chad, as Ricky says, Chad was her friend, and that he's a real person, which is really fun.
Yeah. Well, my last question then is, were you ever scared of the face? Because like there are faces that Glenn makes while in the getup that actually would terrify me in like a dark room or something.
Yes.
So was there ever a moment where you just either couldn't keep it straight or you were legitimately like, that's
Certainly
scary?
lots of moments where we couldn't keep it straight.
Yeah.
Him and Zahn shooting the scene in the shower in episode 2. Some of the versions that didn't make it of the face, which I think Glenn and I will post at some point, are so, I mean, it's like out of weapons. Like, it's so grotesque.
Yeah.
But I came to see Chad as my friend, and it's, I see Chad, or I hear, now when I hear Glenn do the voice, it like really like touches me. And weirdly, I've said this to Glenn, I see him, and Glenn's my friend, we were friends long before we did this. I see him now, and I'm like, I'm not sure if this is the real you. I'm like, Chad, in some ways, when he puts that makeup on, I'm like, that's Glenn. Which
That's
is
great.
a really fun thing.
That's great. It was just so much fun. And the fact that I got to spend some time with Glen Powell, I mean, my job is so hard. I have it so hard. And thanks so much for watching today's episode of The Parting Shot. I really do appreciate it. Leave a little rating and review wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. You can follow me at @AllenScott on everything. Go to Newsweek.com for more news and videos and podcasts and so much more. And in the meantime, watch something fun today, like Chad Powers on Hulu or Disney Plus right now. And have a good one.